Alright, so welcome to a run through the war in the East. So this is the campaign that's, all the videos are on YouTube, so you'll probably maybe watching this at the end or you just dropped in. I'll link back to the start if not. So the previous one of these was quite interesting and people seem to enjoy it, so I'm just knocking another one together out of this. So here we are, 19th July 1941, Germany has done their first moves and have encircled a large number of troops. So let's just get this started. Not much you can do about that stage. The first two turns are giant mouth face. Germany encircling and destroying troops, but this is where it changes. I am able to encircle, get a load of troops out, and cut supplies to their front line for a turn. This cripples them. This slows their advance to a crawl. My men in the marshes hold, and then I get this nice defensive force that basically just stops them. After a while they stop moving in the north, throw everyone down south, and they do advance, they grind forwards. But this is definitely them hammering at me every turn. And although they do, make advances of like 10-20 kilometers at a time, it's not the bit enough. Mud hits, and Hitler's worried face appears. At this point, no one's really attacking, there's just a bit of manoeuvre going on, and then the snow hits and my turn kicks in. So my offence is mainly in the south. As you can see, I kind of just below the marshes, I can manage to encircle several panzer units and then immediately destroy them. This causes a general retreat, not masses, but this is kind of critical because this takes away a lot of very efficient German units who have no real way of stopping me. In the north, it's pretty much just stagnated. I'm having to just hit them, and there's not really much going on. I do advance. I do some damage. Then, of course, the spring mud arrives, and we have to start thinking about the German offensive. I managed to cut off Army Group North for a few seconds, weeks, but it doesn't really last. And then when the spring mud arrives, Army Group North was pretty much my big disappointment of this campaign. I was so close to cutting them off for most of it, but the Germans always managed to keep a few units in place. We come out the Quagmire, and the Germans had managed to do nothing for the entire 43 spring. So they're kind of like, this unit here is quite funny. If you look in the centre, there's this one guy who's got caught, and he survives for a couple of months as I just run him across rail lines and basically cause the Germans to bring all these troops up to catch him and eliminate. Then spring, the campaign season starts, and generally not much happens. They're hitting a solid line. There's some movement in the far south around Odessa. That's their big offensive. They don't seem to be able to advance anywhere in the north. In Odessa, I give up a bit of ground. But again, they hit into this massive line and don't really get to do anything. So, the southern offensive then allows me to trap those guys and then slowly but surely really move them. Alright, so this counter-attack you can see is pushing back their gains. North, again, isn't really doing anything. Mud hits, so 42 is coming to end, and that really wasn't a push on Stalingrad, was it? Alright, so there's a few isolated units that take me several turns to eliminate because it's muddy. Winter hits, and I just start slamming into them. At this point you'll start seeing, we're now moving to early 43, and we'll start seeing the Germans change tactics. At this point they know they've lost. We start seeing slow withdrawals, especially in the south as I push hard there. And I managed to get enough troops into Romania to cause them to flip, which we should see there. This is the game changer. This basically gives me a huge amount of area, new armies and a flank. So here the Germans have suddenly got all this land they've got to protect and not enough troops. So they start falling back. They attack, I attack, they retreat, but a lot of the time it's literally they're retreating as fast as they can. Finland drops out the war. So that's 2 Axis majors allies down. I managed to circle some guys in the mountains. It takes me months to eliminate them. But we're soon on the Hungarian border as soon as the mud arrives. So we've advanced a bit, but not that much. Mainly coming up to like the Polish border and bottom of the Pripyat marshes. Again, mud. Nothing happens in mud, you know this. Pretty much how it goes. But I am mustering my forces, so when it starts getting a bit clearer, I am able to advance. Of course, you know, we're still in spring. There we go, now we're advancing. This is where the Germans really start their retreat. As you can see, I attack, and they move back, I advance up, they retreat again. And it's pretty much this alternating giving up of like 20-30 kilometres a time. I'm into Hungary. I do hit this river like line that causing me quite a lot of trouble, but you can see how much they've just given up so much of like the Russian. These guys are very far north, it take a long time to kill, but everyone else is just retreating. Yeah, and I'm just slamming into them at this point. Look at that, that's like 30-40 kilometres they just give up there. But they're having to contract down. This has been a meat grinder of battle, even though like they haven't penetrated that far in and civilian casualties have been low. In this war, the actual front line was siege, like trench warfare for the north for a good 2 years. And here I'm basically just bringing a large number of troops in and just hitting them again and again and again. Make a little break in like that, and that causes them to abandon. So anywhere I find a little gap just causes them to lose territory. And of course, they're never getting that territory back. Not with that. Look how thick my army is there. It is like 100-150 kilometres deep, and that's all fully stacked. I can just cycle troops through as I want. You see, we kind of make a breakthrough on Hungary, and then the circle, we link up to that front. They have a little bit of a counter-attack. That's probably the only decent counter-attack they make in the entire game. And then just writings on the wall at this point. Yeah, we just keep hitting them and they keep retreating. Yeah, so pow, pow, pow. Not really much mud. So, this is end of 43. No idea what happens with that one. So yeah, again, mud stagnates, just a bit of like picking off. Weather improves. But of course you've got the on-off mud turns for spring of 44. But yeah, at this point it's pretty much all over for the Germans. I just hit in, and although it's taking some time, it is just, you know, the last bits. I say the main interest in this is the fact the shorter supply lines actually meant that there's no easy encirclement of the Germans. So it does become a lot more of a trench warfare. There's no like we can outsupply Germans, they're all in supply for most of the battle. And here we come to the final phases where that massive retreat gives me access to Berlin, and it's just a matter of grinding through to take the last hex and forcing a surrender. Right. Hopefully you enjoyed that. If you would like me to do that for War in the West, I have 2 campaigns I'm pretty sure I've got the screenshots for, so just let me know. But say, if this is your first thing, if you want to watch that entire campaign and read all 150 episodes are linked in this playlist, so enjoy. Otherwise, thank you for making it to the end of the campaign if you're coming from the other end, and see you on something else.